Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
A big warm welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Apologies for the slight delay in episodes being released this week. After the ultimate high of having William Shatner on the show, my Blue Yeti microphone broke. I thought it was the actual cable, so I had that replaced. And guess what? It's still broken. So I'm going to have to buy myself a new microphone. And that is why there's been a delay for the last couple of days. And it's also a good job that I don't suffer with bad jet lag at all. Because this week I've been to California, St. Petersburg, Estonia, Greece. And tonight's guest is actually based in Israel with another great startup story to share with us all. Israel-based innovation software provider Qmarkets has recently received a round of funding which will support the development of its collective intelligence offering for the continued use of global corporations, with big names such as Ford, Lufthansa and Nestle, to name but a few. So I invited the CEO onto the show today to share his insights into the hidden back end of corporate innovation and details around the multi-million-dollar ROI which the Qmarkets platform has generated for companies right across the globe. So buckle up and hold on tight, because it's time to beam your ears all the way to Israel so we can speak with the CEO of Qmarkets.
Hi, Neil. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast. I'm Nam Danone. I'm the CEO and founder of Qmarkets for the past 10 years. I was born in the US, but lived all my life in Israel. And prior to founding Qmarkets, I was managing R&D departments and dealt with product management in large Israeli high-tech companies for over 10 years.
Now, one of the first questions I've got to ask is, what is the story behind Qmarkets and what inspired you to actually, make it a reality?
Okay, that's actually a funny story. I was on a business pre-sale flight to the Far East and was reading a great book called Wisdom of the Crowds that I randomly picked up in the airport bookshop. And it was a long flight, so I had a chance to read it properly, and I immediately fell in love with the concept of wisdom of crowds, and especially with the possibilities around it for companies to better utilize the knowledge of the employees and other stakeholders. So actually a month later, I had a business case for Qmarkets and a plan ready. And after a few more weeks, I left my day job and founded Qmarkets.
So from what I understand, Qmarkets has a strong focus on facilitating innovation. But before we get into that, but why do you think it is so important for modern day companies?
So, most experts agree that more than 50% of large or S&P companies would not even survive the upcoming 15 years. And this is why I think slogans like innovate or die have transformed from just a slogan to something that today all companies know is a reality. And you see that companies worldwide, across industries, that they are adopting this and investing billions into innovation. Just look at the role of VP innovation or innovation departments that have become a necessity for most big companies today. Typically when people think of innovation, they imagine the huge groundbreaking ideas, the next iPhone or Facebook. But in enterprise reality, it goes way beyond just that. So process innovation, continuous innovation are just as important, and they allow companies to constantly improve and evolve through innovation.
Now, I'm also quite conscious that people listening to us now might be discovering Qmarkets for the very first time. So can you tell me exactly what Qmarkets is, what problems it solves, and also what makes it unique from anything else out there?
So Qmarkets offers a SaaS software product for large enterprises in a domain called collective intelligence. Our product allows our customers to open up their innovation and ideation processes to their entire employee base and even to their customers and partners, and allow them to effectively run large-scale online brainstorms around challenges the company is facing. So, for example, we allow large global companies like Ford or Lufthansa to find innovative ideas and solutions to challenges the company is facing. challenges could be around developing new products or services, improving internal processes, increasing customer satisfaction, solving technical problems, or practically any business challenge coming from any of the departments. So the bottom line is our products help our customers make more money or save money, and we do this using the collective power of their stakeholders, their employees, partners, and customers. And what makes our approach and product unique is that we have a very flexible product. It not only is configurable to easily fit such a diverse list of global companies, but also we can offer each one of them a solution for multiple crowdsourcing scenarios, both internal innovation and external open innovation, continuous improvement, best practice sharing, and many more.
Now, over the last few years in particular, I've read more and more about the vibrant Israeli tech startup scene. Is that something you can elaborate on, specifically in relation to Qmarkets?
Yes, of course. Israel is the largest startup hub in the world after Silicon Valley.
Wow.
So compared to the small size of the Israeli population, which is smaller than New York City, this is very incredible. So you may have heard of a book called Startup Nation that explores this unique phenomena and tries to explain the sources and the origins of why this is happening. In my opinion, most of it has to do with the Israeli culture. If you've ever visited to Israel and spoke to the people who live here, you'll quickly find out that we tend to look at any problem or obstacle as an opportunity for something new, and we never take anything for granted. And as a result, Israel is considered to be worldwide leader in many areas today, like cybersecurity, storage, pharma. And as a result of this success, all the big global tech companies have acquired one or more Israeli companies at some point and kept some of their R&D base in Israel. So, for example, you have companies like Apple, Intel, Microsoft, all have their largest R&D centers outside the US based in Israel. And we are only about 7 million population overall.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's a real eye-opener as well, because I think a lot of people only think of Silicon Valley, but I'm hearing more and more about these different areas where startups are thriving. I mean, only this week I've spoken to people in St. Petersburg and Estonia where there's similar kind of things happening there too. But for anyone listening, they'll know all about how innovation is a big, big buzzword that many businesses are chasing after. But I'm curious again, I mean, how can innovation management software actually leverage value and make this more than just another business buzzword?
That's an interesting question. So all companies that I've spoken to say they are committed to invest in innovation, and many of them actually create standalone innovation teams to help them drive that. So, but they all face the same challenges: how to make innovation an ongoing habit across the organization, how to make it repetitive, how to manage it effectively across large organization. And this is exactly what our solution does. It offers them a clear way and a clear methodology to take their local and random innovation initiatives and make them an ongoing, repeatable process across the company. We help them reach out to larger audience while still keeping everything fully managed and very efficient. So in a high level, you can look at what our product supports. It supports the following process typically. So managers within the company identify topics and challenges they want to solve. They publish them online through our tool, and they specify things like who's the direct audience, their timeline, what kind of information they're looking for, what kind of ideas, etc. The audience they targeted, either internally or externally, can join this online brainstorm, submit ideas, help build and improve ideas submitted by others, form teams around ideas, etc. So the tool even identifies similar ideas automatically, offering their submitters to join forces and work together to bring their idea to life. Now, during the brainstorm and afterwards, the moderators of the challenge are given a set of tools by our product that help them narrow down the list of ideas and receive additional aggregated feedback from their community. They do this by grouping similar ideas together, by inviting domain experts to assist in assessing the ideas, by running online review sessions of the best ideas and more tools. As a result of this process, the ideas progress through an idea evaluation funnel, and eventually the best ideas are approved, budgeted, and passed onwards for implementation. So our software manages this whole processes from end to end, from raising the challenge, brainstorming around it, doing the evaluation, and eventually selecting the best ones. We allow them to engage many thousands of participants, and of course offering them all the tools they need to measure the results, measure the ROI, and constantly improve on their innovation processes.
You have some pretty big names as clients too. I mean, just a few that I could name are Ford, Lufthansa, and Nestle. But are there any use cases that you can share that will help the listeners visualise the value of Qmarkets and what it brings to the table? I appreciate you might not be able to mention some of those big names, but it'd be great to help visualise that.
Sure. We have many such great examples of innovation and ideas that provide incredible ROI for our customers. So, for example, one of our customers, a huge global consumer food and drink company, has started using our product for internal employees for supply chain innovation, just for one of their units. Over time, more and more units became interested, and the usage has grown to their R&D, their IT, their marketing units, each focusing on different aspects of internal company innovation. Now, at some point, their marketing department decided that they want to also crowdsource ideas from the world of the startup community. So they launched a wide initiative around this, and all these different use cases, all these different sources of ideas are managed collectively through our platform. But our solution is not only bringing value to our customers, but also to their customers. So this is especially important with some of the healthcare industry customers that we have. For example, NHS. NHS has achieved some incredible things since using our software over the last couple of years. We also had one of our most inspirational projects was with a small Northern Irish company called Lecky, which produces innovative safety equipment for disabled children. We created for them an open innovation platform, which allowed their customers to collaborate with their designers and experts to create brand new products to help these disabled children overcome their challenges. And they've seen some incredible results. To be honest, they've received so many good ideas that at some point they came to us and said, okay, we need to pause the platform for a while because we're just processing the ideas. We can't get any more. So we see all these very successful use cases by our customers, and this is just growing year over year.
It's a great example as well of how technology is actually helping actually improve lives, which is incredible. Can I also ask you to share your insights on the hidden back end of corporate innovation and provide maybe a little bit more detail around that multi-million-dollar ROI which companies are searching for, which the Qmarkets platform is generating as well, right across the globe from what I understand?
That's absolutely true. The easiest way, I think, for me to show clear ROI is through how much money our customers are generating every year through continuous innovation, continuous improvement. This use case alone, which is used side by side alongside breakthrough innovation, generates an impressive ROI for most of our customers. We have customers across industries, whether it's finance, transportation, consumer goods, manufacturing, and others. So, for example, we have a very big European transportation company that's generating over $10 million a year, every year, for the past 4 years, simply from running idea challenges with their 30,000 employees on how to improve their efficiency, reduce costs, and improve the service they're giving to their customers. And by having a clear process implemented through our product, they're able to make this happen and bring all these ideas up to implementation.
So what's next for Qmarkets? I mean, what are your big goals for the next 18 months?
So based on the growth we have seen in the past 2 years and the planned growth we have with our recent funding, we constantly improve our product evolution, and that's our plan in order to remain the market leader. So since we have already a very robust product, a very impressive list of big customers and brand, we realize that it's now time to take it to the next level, which is why we also went for an additional funding round that we recently completed. And this will allow us to reach a larger market and globally. So our efforts will be spent mainly on two fronts. One is around growing our product. So in order to stay the leader, we need to constantly invest in our R&D. So we need to innovate ourselves. So for example, we just recently completely revamped our user interface and released a brand new, very slick, mobile responsive UI. We are constantly improving our self-admin and reporting capabilities to allow our customers to manage their processes more effectively. And we're also working on integration with third parties, whether it's technology partners or content providers that will provide our customers with big data solutions that would be integrated into our tool, information about trends, the startup community, and other aspects that will allow us to provide our customers with a more complete solution. So these solutions will complement ours. And this is one big direction, of course, we're going to, as part of progressing our product. And of course, in parallel to this, we'll be growing our sales and local presence. So we have already invested heavily into growing our presence in the US and German markets for the past 2 years. And we intend to continue to do so. And in addition, we're already expanding to other regions like APAC and Latin America that are also investing heavily in innovations in the past couple of years. So we see there also a great opportunity for Qmarkets to continue to grow.
Well, a huge thanks for coming on the show today. But before I let you go, can I ask you to remind the listeners of your Qmarkets website details and also how they can contact yourself or a member of your team if they just want information about anything that we've mentioned in our conversation today?
Sure. First of all, it was my pleasure. So thank you for having me today. Our website is www.qmarkets.net. And this is also the best way to reach us. Simply use the contact form on our website, and one of our product specialists would be happy to be in touch with you shortly.
Excellent. I love what you guys are doing there, and it's easy to see, for me at least, why you've got so many high-profile clients, and innovation is needed now more than ever. But I love hearing vibrant startup stories from all over the world, but more than anything, I love how you attribute the success of startups in Israel is how you look at problems as an opportunity for something new, and I think that's something that we could all learn from. So again, a big thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much, Neil, and thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Like I said in the show there, innovation is a big buzzword that I've seen so many companies going after, but seldom succeeding due to that ingrained company culture that refuses to change or evolve with these fast-moving times. The work that Qmarkets are doing here with some of the world's biggest brands really does seem to be changing all that. So this is a story that I'll be following very closely, and I hope you will too. As always, a big thank you for listening and joining me beaming around the world talking to leaders and sharing these fantastic startup stories. So a big thank you to everyone listening today, and an even bigger thank you for your patience with my technical microphone issues. But don't you worry, I'm back on track now. So I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.